Got hip pain? In this video, I'm going to show you one simple stretch that nobody ever talks about that will help you relieve your hip pain and improve hip mobility. Hi, I'm Matt Shoup from Upright Health, where we help you move beyond your limitations so you can live with confidence. Be sure to check out the description box for helpful links to our do-it-yourself programs like the FAI Fix and for our upcoming events so you can come learn with us live. If you're dealing with hip pain, you may have noticed that there's a lot of bad, unsatisfying advice out there. People will tell you to use a cane, people will tell you to stop moving, stop walking, just sit all the time, just rest. And all this advice basically leaves you feeling weaker and less stable and less capable of enjoying your life. So in this video, I'm going to show you a stretch that just gets missed. Doctors don't talk about it. I've almost never seen, in fact, I've never seen a physical therapist mention it, but it's a really effective stretch that can help you open up your hips in a way that you've probably never done before. So this stretch is called the frog. So basically what you're going to be doing is starting off on your knees and your hands. You're going to take your knees out and apart. Now notice when I'm doing this, you can still kind of see my feet in here, right? So my feet are staying together when I'm trying it this time, but we're gonna play with that in a second. So then we're just basically spreading the knees apart and looking for a stretch sensation through the inner thigh muscles. Now, when I say stretch, I mean like it's gonna be a little bit uncomfortable and I don't want it to feel like it's tearing or ripping anything. You're just looking for that light sense of challenge. Once you find that, you can stay there and then just hold that position. One of the things you wanna watch out for though is that you are not going into a really big anterior tilt here. We wanna try to just focus on maintaining the pelvic position and then keeping the adductors engaged here. So we're just trying to find that position where it's just kind of tough but not super pinchy or jammy or anything. Okay? So again, I'm out here, I'm taking my knees out wide, and then I can explore that and just kind of feel for, you know, what my body can handle there. If I want to, I can also actually start to play with the tilt, so I can go more posterior tilt. Let me show you from the side. I can go more posterior tilt, I can go more anterior tilt if I feel like I've already kind of mastered one position. I can also drop myself down here, move forward here with my hips, I can move back with my hips, bring my hips back towards my heels. I can drop my chest down lower, like so, and see if there's any angle in there that makes a difference to these inner thigh muscles. These muscles here can get really jammed up on a lot of people because a lot of times we're never using these muscles in a lengthened position. We're never going out like this. So especially for men, this can be really, really helpful because a lot of guys have never, ever, ever stretched their inner thigh muscles. Now, let's talk about what it means to stretch in this position and how you can do it more effectively. One mistake people make when going into this stretch, and a lot of stretches in general, is thinking about it as just trying to rip a muscle apart. And that's not what you're trying to do. You want to try to teach muscles how to control different positions. So for example, when you go out into the stretch, if you go really wide and you just feel like everything's pinching and jamming and ripping apart, you want to back out of it a little bit, bring your knees in a little bit, and then one real simple thing to do here is think about it as doing an isometric contraction. So you're just kind of squeezing with the adductors, the muscles that you're stretching, you're going to squeeze them, contract them so that they're putting pressure into the floor. So your knees are pushing down into the floor. And you hold that contraction for 10 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, and then as you get better, 40, 50, 60 seconds, get used to using those muscles and then relaxing those muscles. What you will find is as those muscles get better at firing in these lengthened positions, you're no longer going to feel as scared about going as wide. Okay, so that's one little trick that you can use to make your stretching more effective. Think of it as strength work, but at a different position than you're used to. While you're playing with positions, you can also think about that foot position I was talking about earlier. So if I want to bring my feet out, it's going to change the angle I'm making my adductors work and change the angle that other muscles around my hips are working. So you can see if I stay in like this, I can rock back way far, but if I go wider out with my heels, then I get locked in sooner, and that forces my hips to deal with rotation in a different way and abduction in a different way. So how long should you hold this stretch? Well, if you're just starting, start off small. Do 2 to 3 sets of like 30 seconds to a minute, possibly 2 minutes maximum, but just pay attention and go with what you can handle comfortably. And then the next day you can start adding a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. So like today, if you start off with 3 sets of like 15 seconds each because it's so intense you really can't handle more, that's fine. Back off the intensity a little bit. And then you know what, tomorrow you can come back in, try to hold it a little bit longer at a medium intensity, and then the next day you can try to hold it a little bit longer. You really want to make sure the intensity isn't at your maximum where you feel like your head's gonna explode. You wanna keep it lower. You wanna keep it like between 50 to 70% of your maximum tolerance so that you have a chance to calmly get used to the position and teach your muscles to control that position. All right, so that is a stretch that can help you relieve hip pain and improve hip mobility. And I gave you a couple different ways to work with that stretch so that you can improve things overall gently and safely. Be sure to check out the description box if you want to check out our do-it-yourself programs like the FAI Fix, as well as our calendar of upcoming live workshops. I hope you liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, please click the like button, share it with somebody that you know needs the information, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks. Life shouldn't. If you like this video, please consider supporting us on Patreon. We would really, really appreciate it. Thank you.